Hey guys, welcome back. This is Greg Miller from Spinoff Investing Simplified, and today in my video I'm going to talk a little bit about the Ecolab Apergy transaction that I talked about with tender offers last week. And I'm just going to share with you what happened. Check it out. Hey everyone, this is Greg Miller from Spinoff Investing Simplified. I'm your host here at Spinoff Investing Simplified's YouTube channel. And I appreciate you stopping by and taking a look around. If you appreciate this video or any of the others, please subscribe to our channel. We would love to have you along. We also appreciate your comments, and smashing that like button helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. We sure appreciate your time with us and hope you enjoy this video. Thanks a bunch. All right, so let's take a look at what happened with the Ecolab spin-off / split-off transaction and tender offer. So for those of you that didn't catch my last week's video, the Ecolab tender offer was for small investors. There was an Ecolab merging their ChampionX business with Apergy. This occurred or was announced on May 1st, 2020, and it included an odd lot provision. And in that provision, 111, actually no, not in the provision, but in the tender offer itself, $111.11 of ChampionX shares were offered for each $100 of Ecolab shares tendered. There was a limit to the exchange ratio of 24.6667 shares per Ecolab share. So a way to get a lot of shares in ChampionX for a relatively small number of shares in Ecolab basically was what this tender offer was all about. If you want to see more about my thoughts about it last week when I was putting it together, you can take a look at it. And this is my experience with the Ecolab APY or Apergy tender. I purchased 40 shares of Ecolab at $206.20 a share for a total of $8,248 on the 26th of May. 2 days later, I invoked the odd lot and tendered those shares, invoking the odd lot priority on the 28th of May. And on Friday last week, June 5th, I had 986 shares of ChampionX showing up in my account. Now, ChampionX was the follow-on post-APY merger of the Ecolab business with APY. That's what it was going to be, so CHX. And then I sold just today 800 shares of ChampionX at $12.36 a share for a total of $9,888 on the 8th of June. This is a 19.9% return in less than 2 weeks, or a total of about 517% annualized. I went ahead and kept 186 shares of the ChampionX position that I basically got for free. If I'd went ahead and sold those, my returns would even be higher than what they were for this. But I have the opinion that the ChampionX position will be better as things improve in the oil and gas industry for a little while. But I don't want to have a lot of exposure to it because I like to have, I'm trying to test out this $10,000 focus on tender offers as I looked at with Christian Reither's ideas. And if I can have about $10,000 in cash at any given time, I think that will, so that I can capitalize on another tender offer, I think that will be something that's interesting to look at and to use. But keeping 186 for long-term price appreciation, I think is more than reasonable, and it gives me a chance to sell calls against it when they start selling options on this amount. I wanted to sell out of this transaction by selling calls and buying puts, but they are not yet offering them through my brokerage account at this time. You will notice that I did not include taxes, nor did I include transaction costs. These fees are waived with the account that I have through TD Ameritrade because this account was done with my IRA. I have a traditional IRA that I'm using for this. And in that traditional IRA, I have the trading account through TD Ameritrade, allowing me to avoid a lot of the costs that would be associated with this. Even then, I still would have been able to make up the costs of the transaction with this. I estimate that it would be about $50 to $100, depending on what kind of transaction it was, and then the taxes on top of that. Another let's just say about $600 for 30%, or a close to 30% tax cost on that. So something to think about. I found that was pretty interesting. For me, this was definitely an interesting experience and a new one for me. And that's part of the reason why I didn't necessarily share this with my subscribers, because I wanted to experience this myself before I felt comfortable sharing these types of things with subscribers. Looking back at it, Schiller was a pretty smart fellow, and I'm going to have to reread his work on a couple of other things that I've looked at, because I think it might be a great opportunity. I should note that there are some risks that went in my favor. First and foremost, oil prices remained relatively stable throughout the period that this transaction occurred. Had there been some sort of adverse effect on oil prices, I'm sure that would have affected the returns that I was able to get out of this. There were no adverse actions, price action on CHX shares after the transaction. So the transaction, I had the shares in my account on Friday. I didn't sell them at that time. I went ahead and just kept them. The odd lot advantage definitely went in my favor, because I had an 11.11% premium offer that I was able to lock in. It wasn't exactly about that much. It was closer to about 6 or 7, because the max limit of 24.6667 shares was met by the time that I had tendered my shares. Some other things risks that could have gone against me is that the tender offer may not have gone through. I may not have gotten that odd lot advantage. There's a lot of different things that could have been risked on this, and that's something to consider if you're doing a tender transaction, is to recognize some of those risks that might be available or might occur due to a tender offer and some of the things that are going on with it. The other considerations that you might think about is Ecolab. Ecolab is a company that I've looked at previously, just because I thought that it was a great business. And Ecolab, at the time that they had this particular tender offer out there, they were trading at about 100. It was below $200 a share, and you basically could have bought them for under $200 a share, and now all of a sudden it's up over 10% from that original time. If I just kept on with those, I don't think I would have been disappointed. That's about a 10% return just to remain an Ecolab shareholder. And you've basically made it so that and this is something that Maurice Schiller points out in his writing, you basically have made it so that Ecolab has gotten rid of a lot of their minority interests that allow them to then pursue other options. If they wanted to sell it, they don't have a bunch of minority stakeholders that they have to get rid of. I'd like to send out a quick shout out and thanks to Rich from stockspinoffinvesting.com for the idea. He is the one that gave me the idea to look here, and I am very, very pleased with that. On that, I didn't put this on the slide, but I also would like to put a shout out to Christian Reither from Kareem Capital. His idea of, if you have 10 grand sitting around or idle, you should be looking at tender offers, because it's a great way to make a little bit of extra cash on the side. And he was spot on with this particular instance. I'm not going to guarantee that that'll happen every time, but I think that given that this is a new thing for me, I think it will definitely be something that I'll have to keep looking forward to try to understand and maybe take advantage of in the future. And then finally, We always have to acknowledge those really intelligent people that go before us. And Maurice Schiller, father of special situations investing, his work that prompted my interest in this transaction. I can't tell you how useful his chapter on on tender offers was useful for this particular transaction and helping me understand what I should expect. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate this. If you participated in the Ecolab Apergy transaction, I'd love to hear your comments and your experience with this particular transaction, how you may have played it, and why would definitely be worth it. On the other hand, if you have never worked on a tender offer and you'd like to know more, please hit me up. I'd be more than happy to talk about this and share my thoughts on this. So thanks a bunch for your time. Take care. As we finish up, we have one final note for you. This video was made for educational purposes only. Any companies mentioned in this presentation were discussed for educational purposes only. Discussing such companies and the specifics about them is for illustrative purposes only and not a solicitation to purchase them. We recommend that you conduct your own research and identify why you might want to own the company yourself before you commit any funds. We also recommend that you seek the services of a financial advisor that has considered your situation as your fiduciary. May your education here grow your knowledge, improve your personal investing performance, and give you the confidence to take control of your future. Thanks.